Howdy, folks. I'm a very thirsty salmon named Tanya.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Keeping Score of My Husband's Incompetence? And this one might have a content warning of a potentially controlling partner. So I'm a 24-year-old female, and my husband is a 26-year-old male, and we've been together for 6 years, and we have 3 small children under 5. Yes, I had 3 babies in 4 years, and yes, I am tired. OP, I cannot blame you for being tired. I have 0 kids, and I'm still very tired. In general, my husband is a great guy, but he has started doing something that really upsets me. The most recent example is this. On my husband's day off, he wanted to stay home and rest, so I went grocery shopping. I came home and I put the groceries away. I cleaned the house. He did clean our room, prepared everything for our son's birthday party the next day, and made dinner. Once dinner was over, I started tidying up and he got down on the floor to stretch out a pain in his back. I tossed him a paper towel and said, Hey, why don't you clean up that spill while you're down there? Passively and lightheartedly. I would have been on the floor to do it myself, but so it made sense to me to ask him while he was already down on the floor, edited for clarity. He said no, got up, and walked away. I was so frustrated that this happened, and a few other times over the last week I said, You can't just say no and walk away like that. It's very rude and disrespectful to me. I asked for help with something. He said, Did you just seriously tell me I can't say no? I'm a grown man. I don't need to explain things to you. You can tell me no, I can tell you no. I told him that I would actually never just be able to tell him no because he would get very upset. I also added that it's not that he can't say no, I just wish he would talk things out with me as a team, such as no, I don't have time right now, or no, but I can do it later. We went back and forth a few times and just ended up basically agreeing to try to listen to each other more. It really bothered me that he said that I could tell him no at any time, as that has never been true in our relationship. So I tested it out. All Saturday, I tried telling him no about little things. Will you help make that appointment for me? No. Will you get me a trash bag? No. Will you grab me some lunch? No. I didn't put my foot down on any of it. I just started with a no and then would go and walk away. And he would either try to reason with me, convince me, or get frustrated with me each time. And each time I would just end up doing it like I always have. The next morning, he asked me to do something, and I put my foot down and said I didn't want to do it because he would have to. He got really upset and asked why I was being so difficult, and so I told him this. Yesterday, I told you no 11 times. 11 times you got frustrated with me or did not accept the no. Not even one time did you accept my no. He said the fact that I kept track and said no purposely to prove a point was toxic, and if he did that to me, I would be really mad. I told him the fact that I needed to keep track to prove a point was toxic, when he should want to fix the situation just because it was something that bothered me. He still stands behind my behavior as being toxic, so am I the jerk for keeping track of his behavior and bringing this to his attention? Edited to add, going to add this because I think it's important to make clear, him stretching out his back after dinner is a very normal occurrence. He wasn't in awful pain, he just had a bit of a catch in his back. I can see how this could appear disrespectful, though, and I appreciate the feedback. I think my biggest frustration is that he can say no and walk away. However, I must take care of it because I am not going to leave a mess on the floor for my kids to live with. Also, we do not fight in front of our kids, and we both work to have a calm communication in front of them. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but reevaluate the relationship because if you can't say no, that is not a good sign.
I think that this is problematic. I think that there is some pretty big problems here where OP is not really able to say no. And like, he claims that, oh, she can say no anytime she wants. And so when OP actually took him up on that offer, it turned out that no, she couldn't say no. And I think that's problematic in its own right. So he's allowed to walk away from a situation and not clean up a mess, but she's able to not able to do the same thing, and I don't think that's very equitable. So I think that OP does seem to. I think that there are some red flags here, and I think OP needs to kind of reevaluate the situation, and potentially marriage counseling could be something that would help you to resolve these issues, these communication issues. So I don't think that OP, you're the jerk in this situation. I think that he is acting unreasonable here, and it was a pretty simple request, and maybe like if he had a problem with how you said it or how you asked him, you two could have a discussion about that. But it sounded like you were just asking him nicely to go ahead and clean up a mess, and he just refused to do it. So yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Bobby CW says, I strongly suspect that you're married to a narcissist because here's what happened. You went to him with an ironclad proof, but you guys are talking about his behavior? No, instead you're talking about your behavior. The best defense is a good offense. You gave him proof, and he came back with his own gaslighting accusations, and now that's what you guys are busy talking about. In the meantime, his double standard isn't being discussed. This is what narcissists do. Source, former marriage. Keep liking for intelligence says, holy freegels, Bobby CW, you just put an entire old relationship into perspective. You're amazing. May I please offer some poor man's gold, which is all I have, to my hero of the day? And they offer them a bunch of medals. It's called Darvo, meaning deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for my husband missing a meeting while I was babysitting his laptop? My husband routinely has issues with his sleep schedule. We both work from home. On mornings when he needs a few extra hours or two, he asks me to grab his laptop, log on, and monitor his email/Skype until he wakes up. Mind you, I do this while doing my own work. I manage to wake up and get online even if it's only 5 hours of sleep and caring for our toddler. One morning I grab his computer for him, but he asks to be woken up by 9. I forget to check his email. He woke up at 9, but never came to get his computer until 10:30. Turns out that he had a meeting at 9 a.m. that he completely missed. He started yelling at me, cussing out at me for not checking his email. I told him it's not my responsibility to do his job, and he said it's our job because our livelihoods depend on both our jobs. He said that I'm not a team player. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP, like, you're already doing him a favor so often. Like, you can't expect him. He has to do his own job. At the end of the day, he's responsible for his own job. You're responsible for your job. You do not need to be working 2 jobs just because your husband needs a couple extra hours of sleep. Plain and simple. No, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation, and he needs to get his act together. Like, yeah, it's not your responsibility to tell him he has a meeting at 9. He should be checking his calendar and getting everything together and making sure the night beforehand, if he's been off on vacation or something like that, then he needs to be able to, make sure he's prepared for the next workday. So no, you're not the jerk here. He's just lashing out at you because he got into trouble. So, yeah. Also, it's not very good for him to be cussing you out. Like, who does that, right? Like, have a civil discussion. There's no need to be cussing people out here, right? Plain and simple. That's rude. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And EMSFC says, not the jerk. His reaction is completely unfair and irrational. He's an adult. You're not his mother, and his time management isn't somehow your job. It's his responsibility. Also, he literally woke up at 9. How is it your fault that he didn't keep an eye on the time and goes to retrieve his laptop when he was up? He asked you to watch it while he slept. You did that. When he woke up, it was time for him to collect his laptop, and he didn't. Instead, he missed a meeting because of his own error and then blames you. Doesn't even make any sense at all. There's no, I overslept and you do my job in team. Not the jerk, and stop catering to his computer. If someone realizes that it's you, you might both have problems. What if his employer calls you? I mean, that's a fair point, but it sounds like this arrangement's been working out for them all right. And I mean, I think that babysitting someone's computer every once in a while isn't necessarily a problem, but there needs to be a limit to like the responsibility and whatnot. Like, sure, you can ask someone to watch over your computer, but then at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're taking full responsibility for that. You can't just be like, hey, can you just keep an eye on my computer for a second and then walk away for 8 hours, right? I mean, it's not fair. And our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for refusing to pay to get his car fixed from my college fund? I'm a 22-year-old female, and I met this guy, a 27-year-old male, named Paul, and we've been going on a few dates for a couple of months. We met on Tinder. We really like each other, but we haven't officially started dating yet, so I don't call him my boyfriend and vice versa. We're still getting to know each other and things that we love versus hate. So for the past couple of weeks, he's been sending me pictures of his car that's been sitting in the mechanics, his cousin's shop, for weeks. He went on and on about what needs to be fixed and made a long list and calculated out the total and sent it to me as a screenshot. I looked at it and was wondering what it had to do with me. He told me about his financial hardships at the moment and asked if I could help pay for his car to get it fixed quickly, so he'll be able to take me on that road trip that he promised. I felt uncomfortable because the money he was talking about was around $2,500 and I don't have that kind of money on hand. He brought up my college fund and suggested I skip one semester so I could help pay for his car. I was shocked he brought that up, but he knows how important college is for me. But he assured me that he'll pay me back on it in time and that I only have to skip one semester and that's it. I asked for time to think about it, but he kept calling and I decided just to give a polite no. He asked why, and I told him it's because my education is my priority and I can't handle skipping a semester, even if it's just one. He hung up saying that he needed time, then texted me saying that I did not show support after he made himself open and vulnerable, and that I chose money over him by refusing to lend it to him, and that he is struggling and needs it, and that it didn't matter to me. I felt really guilty and I started calling him, but he texted me saying that he might respond when I make room for compromise, aka pay him all of the money that he wants. That's what he means by compromise. Am I the jerk for refusing to pay? Edit, he had me talk to his cousin about the car. I also visited his place and met his parents, so it's not like I don't know his address. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but don't see him again.
OP, this guy is trying to take you for a literal ride. Okay? He is trying to basically get money out of you, and you don't know if you'll ever see him again after that, right? You two have been seeing each other for a couple of months, and you're not dating or anything like that. You have no responsibility to him. You're not like, you don't have assets that are tied to him. And this is a really, really big ask. Like, to be dating someone for 2 months and to be like, hey, can I have or borrow $2,500? I'm guessing that this is not a good sign and that he's probably just looking to get money out of you. That's kind of how I feel about this situation. So I would be very cautious and I would not pursue this relationship anymore. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Odla Sendra says, not the jerk girl, run. Specialist Ads 7507 says, and in case you still don't get it, run fast, run far, but run. Firmer123 says, not the jerk, but block him immediately. This sounds like a baby Tinder swindler. I would not be surprised if he's talking to other people from Tinder trying to get them to pay for things as well. Alright folks, it is tea time. So grab your beverages of choice. Tell me what kind of drinks you have.
Water.
Amber has water as her habit is. So I think Amber has a joke for us. Amber, what is your joke today?
What kind of snake loves math?
I don't know what.
An adder.
And so there you go. A joke made up by Amber. Hopefully you folks enjoyed it. I made up a joke earlier, but Amber did not like it.
It's too morbid.
Amber thought it was very morbid. So if you don't want to hear a morbid joke, you should probably skip to the end. My joke that I made up was, what did the scientist do when he found out his fellow scientist was radioactive? Bury him. Amber doesn't like morbid jokes. Sorry, Amber. And I have Earl Grey. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
I was like, where does he even come up with these from?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone has a very thirsty salmon named Tanya. I mean, it's pretty common. It's not like it's out of that much out of the blue. You've got a friend named Tanya who's a thirsty salmon. I've got a friend named Tanya who's a very thirsty salmon. I mean, it's just like a fact of life, man. Alright, and our last letter is titled, Am I the jerk for refusing to get paid? It's gonna throw hot tea all over my face so I can read better.
Please don't.
A burnt Brian face reads better. It's the pain.